Welcome to the Get You Happy On Hour. I'm your host, Ricky C. Simmons on 93.7 The Ticket. You know, before I get the show started tonight, man, I got to give a couple quick shout-outs. Brad Taylor, man, I appreciate you tuning in. You and Shauna down there in Forney, Texas. I got to give a real big shout-out to Caddo Mills, Texas. Tim Rector, One Director, and Ann Payne. You guys honored my mother for 42 years worth of service. My mom been in heaven since 2006. I just want to say thank you guys for doing that. And I can never repay you for that. I mean, that's just very special to me. So I wanted to get that out there right off the top because education is very, very important. And my mom spent, 42 years teaching. And she was the first Black teacher when the schools integrated in Caddo Mills, and man, she held it down for as long as she could. And for her to be considered a legendary Fox for the Caddo Mills Foxes, man, it's got a special spot in my heart. And I just want to again say thank you on air. You know, I'm gonna be real honest with you. I got a guest tonight that I'm really excited about. He's one of my former Nebraska football teammates. And he's got a very, very interesting life, less known career. And I'm gonna get right to it. Dr. Jamie Williams, welcome to the show.
What's up? Hey, Ricky Simmons.
Hey, listen, man.
The one man that can make somebody miss in the phone booth.
Hey, Jamie, man, I'll be real honest with you. I was, we was out there talking before the show, and I was listening more than anything because, dude, you've had an interesting life, you know.
I have. I'm blessed though.
No, but you really have had an interesting life, and I just want to give you as much time to educate everybody else on some of what I know, but sure. I want to learn more too. So we're gonna start at the beginning and go all the way.
Oh, you want to do that?
Let's do that.
Okay.
Let's start there. First of all.
Little closer? Okay.
Yeah, a little closer. Yeah.
I used to do this back in the day. Cool.
Well, I know you got skills, and we're going to get to that. Yeah. So, first of all, I want you to share with everybody, where are you from?
Okay, so I was Midwest raised in Davenport, Iowa.
Okay.
Quad Cities.
What?
Yes. Yeah. And Roger Craig living down the street.
Right. Depot.
Yeah, he was high stepping in kindergarten. But I was born in Florida.
Okay.
In Fort Pierce, Florida, and we moved to Iowa when I was 3.
Gotcha.
And when it started snowing, I was like, "What?
Wait a minute.
Why are we going back?" Right. So, but it was one of the best things that ever happened to me.
Okay, growing up in Iowa, you, if I remember correctly, you went to Central High School.
Davenport Central.
Depot. Hey, man, I know you had some success athletically. And that's how you ended up at the University of Nebraska. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Right.
Now, what other schools were interested?
I asked my coach, the late Coach Foxstat, like who else? He said, where you want? What schools are you interested in? I said, well, who's interested in me? And he's like, all of them. it was kind of crazy. But what's crazy is that my mom, she never saw me play until I was a junior in high school. Never saw me do anything. Heard Dion talk about that. His parents were, tired working. They didn't see. So you had to just go out. You play because of your buddies.
Yes.
And my mom didn't see me until the year we won the state, and the neighbors forced her to go to the playoff game. You know what I'm saying?
So she was taking care of her business.
That's right. And she was tired, man. I got home, that food was on the plate. And she worked, full time.
Well, Jamie, there's so much to your story that I want to get to, so I'm gonna skip right on into college.
Sure.
That's when I met you.
Yes.
I believe me and Nate came up here, and we were in Abel Hall.
Yes.
And I think you was in Abel Hall as well.
Now, you guys are 1 year under me, right?
Correct. We came right behind you.
Yes.
And that's how we kind of initially. And then by me being a wing back, then moving to receiver, we had the same position coach.
Yes, we
Coach
did.
Gene Huey. Big shout out to Coach Gene Huey.
Come on now. Come on. He was the real deal.
I can tell a story about Gene Huey for the whole show, but
no question.
Yeah, that guy was special. I have to share this one. He would always, during that, we had this drill called 101. And we had this defensive end named Jimmy Williams. And man, look, Jimmy Williams, for people that don't know, I mean, y'all get your Google on. This dude was a beast, right? I'm like 155, 160 soaking wet. They talking about Ricky getting a 3-point stance and block Jimmy one-on-one. I'm like, yeah, okay. It sounds good. But anyway, it never worked. But I can honestly say a couple of times Jimmy felt sorry for me. And he said, look, man, coach, bring somebody else up here, man, because Ricky too small. I'm trying to get some work. And Jamie, first one. I got it. Jamie was about that life. So thank you for saving me.
Yes,
I appreciate that.
But I got to give it to you. You would stick your nose in it.
Yeah,
if you didn't, you wasn't going to play for Gene Huey.
Yeah, right. Well, one thing about him, he was real quick to let you know that if you don't do it or don't try, he had a baseball cap for you. Yeah. You're going to be on the sideline with him.
No question.
Yeah, he was a no-nonsense guy. So, I got respect for him to this very day for that, because he made us who we were. Because if you didn't, you never played.
Yes.
And we all wanted to play.
Yes, no question.
Well, Jamie, go ahead.
Let me just add something real quick, because at the beginning you gave a shout out to your late mother.
Yes.
And I'm going to give a shout out to mine. She had that impact on me, and she never graduated from high school. But yet, when you talk about, where are you going to go? How'd you pick Nebraska? Well, right. Coach Oz, she made soul food for my Coach Osborne. She looked out the window. She said, "That man's here again." Right? And it was really funny. And even in my pro days, I would give her, a hard time about that, because she's like, "Why they keep coming up here to see you?" Right? and she didn't know, she didn't know any of that. But one thing she did that was, kind of life-changing for me as a young guy, because nobody in my family went to college, so it was I was like Harry Potter, I didn't know what's Hogsworth, right? Like, what is that, right? And she told me something when the people would come around, try to get me to go to Iowa State or Northwestern or something. They'd come and, that we're living in the Quad Cities, and my mom would go, "Jamie, just get a degree."
Wow.
Just get a degree.
Wow.
They talk about, well, he's got a pro body. He's going to be, just get a degree.
Yeah.
And whenever I had a downtime here on campus, I could hear her.
Yeah.
Just get a degree.
Well, you know what? I got to say this, man. I mean, that's why when I mentioned education, we're going to get to that.
Sure.
But I just wanted to, I thought that was a perfect segue for you, because my mom, I mean, very, very educated lady, master's degrees, school teacher. My mom and dad both were in that same class. So they, the education was their life, and that's why I'm so honored to have you as a guest. And I had to give a shout out to them. I want to go right to, man, you had a college career that was second to none, because it got you into the league. I just want to know, basically share with everybody about the time you had in Nebraska, and what did you do right after Nebraska?
Yeah, so I used Harry Potter earlier, and it was like, he became, a great wizard, right? And
right.
When he came, he didn't know wizards existed.
Okay.
They kind of nudged him, "Hey, you need to come because you got these skills." And that was kind of the deal for me. You're in honor roll academically, you can play some stuff. And you got to go to college, right? Because it's going to open up. And it opened it up for Harry Potter. The same thing happened for me. I got here, and I'm like, they say, "You got to go see the bursar." And I'm like, "What's a bursar?" Right? I didn't know anything. And then I'm staying in Able dorm, and it's like, I've never, like, people stay in there,
Yeah.
And then they had girls on the same floor, and I'm like, they can do that? It worked out okay, though. But it was just eye-opening. It was obviously the football part I understood. And I understood right away that, you're either going to be the hammer or you're going to be the nail.
Correct.
And you had to step up, because it was challenging. I mean, we were in the top 5, every year, and I was a young guy, and I knew I had to cook in the oven. And but you live for those challenges.
Right.
But then academically, there were so many choices, and I remember these young ladies from African American students that were older than me from Omaha Central.
Okay.
So I liked them because they went to Central too,
Yeah.
right? They're in Central.
Central.
And I can
Depot
remember
Central, Omaha Central.
Ellen, Patty,
Yeah,
Madeline,
absolutely.
and they did something that was really interesting. That was beyond the advisors that I had. They look at my transcript or my class schedule, and they're like, "No, you don't need to be in that class. Take that out. Too smart for that. You need to do this. You're not taking underwater basket weaving. You're going to take this." And I was like, "Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am." Because they were older,
right.
and they were like, "This is what you need to do,"
Mm-hmm.
and they kind of guided me, and it was good. And the culture was good because it was a culture within the culture. Like I had the football team, and then we had the campus culture. We interacted with students really well. There was no like separation.
Correct. Yeah, I think we interacted with everybody, even just people in the community.
I had people in the band that was in my class that would come over to the part we were rapping. I was like, "Dude, how do you play that?" Right? And they're like, "How did you catch that?" Right? How'd you catch that pass? And it was we were all like students. We're all Huskers. There wasn't no separation.
Right.
From my experience.
No. I mean, and that's true. I mean, because I had friends that had nothing to do with sports.
Yeah.
I mean, I met them in the dorm.
So check this. So a classmate talked me into trying out journalism, and this brings me back here. This is what I was doing when I left practice. Right?
You was going.
I unplugged, and I was in there, and I was DJing on KRNU 90.3 FM. This is Iceman,
Yeah.
And it brought me into finding myself because I was doing something I knew because I was like, "What's journalism?"
Right.
And then I really learned it.
Now, Jamie, I want you to share about when school ended for you in college. When college ended, you didn't just stop there.
Right.
You kept. Naturally, you went on into the NFL, and I want to talk about your NFL career for just a minute, if that's okay.
Sure.
First of all, how long did you play in the NFL?
I played 12 years.
12 years with
the Houston Oilers.
Okay.
And the 49ers.
I think you got a ring with them 49ers.
I did.
That's what I thought. I'm talking about a Super Bowl ring, man.
Yeah, that was, and it was kind of interesting because I was used to championships. The first time I ever had experienced a losing season was my first year in the pros, first and second year in the pros. And elementary, no losing seasons. Junior high, none. High school, none. Definitely Nebraska, 0. Right. We didn't always win the championship, but we were in it.
Right. Yeah.
And then I experienced losing. But then I saw what it took for us to become winners, at that level. Right. And then obviously the Niners was very used to it. And there's a commonality there. I don't care if you're playing baseball, if you're playing Little League, how the win is universal.
Well, speaking of that Niners team.
Yes.
Man, you had some very high profile teammates.
No question.
Yeah, because I'd like for you to just share with them some of the people that you played with.
Okay, yeah. So, but before I do that, let me go back in my Houston days because that's when I came out of college and I'm seeing skyscrapers for the first time.
They had no skyscrapers in Depot, man.
No, they had. We had some nice hills and we had that great river, Mississippi. But I get there and where I became like really myself, a young man in the world, right? And I had some great guys there, and I got to the same time as Warren Moon.
Okay.
And so we became close buddies. And this week coming up, we have a reunion of the Oilers. Right. So Moon and they all been texting me like we were all going to be there. And this Sunday, when the Titans play, who are the Oilers, when they play, they're going to wear original Oiler uniforms.
Oh,
that's going to be awesome.
That's big.
So by the time I go to the Niners, I'm a vet. I can play the game. It was easy. Slow it down. I was like, I know what to do. Right. I'm coming to make plays.
Right.
Which is what you had to do here to get on the field. You had to freaking make plays.
Oh yeah.
Or you over there with a baseball cap.
Yeah. Wishing and hoping.
Yeah. So I get there and I was kind of an enigma because I was a free spirit, did my own thing. And I come there and I got dreads. And a lot of those guys that see me play, and I was the only guy in the league with dreadlocks. And so when I get there, they're all like staring at me, you know. And Roger Craig is down a few stalls, and he's just laughing, man. But my locker was right next to Jerry Rice.
Okay.
And we became very, very close. Very close. Because, you know, it's just like me and you. You know, you're the flanker, I'm the tight end.
Right.
And I was the Navy SEAL. I mean, I was a hunter seeker.
Yes.
And Rice found that out. And he's like, he would come over to me in the huddle, and he'd say, hey, you know, number 20 over there, man, he's talking a lot of noise. You know, I said, oh, he's a little frisky, huh? I said, I got him. Go ahead. I got him. So, and back then there was the rules were different. So I was hunting. I was hunting cats. You know, you mess with Rice.
Yeah.
And then Joe Montana lived down the street from me.
Okay.
Right? And so we used to ride to work together. And he was awesome. When you talk about leadership, and you're talking about having vision. You know, I mean, if you look at him, he had little calves and buggy whip arms.
Yeah.
But the dude could ball out. He knew how to be in the moment and control the moment.
Yeah, well, the record speaks for that.
That's right.
Yeah,
he was a great receiver. He kind of reminded me of you a little bit, John Taylor.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Very quiet, very quiet, but boy.
Wait. Ricky Quiet? You just said that with a straight face?
Hey, Austin, I wasn't always like I am now.
Good point. Yeah, he can't. Well, he started out really quiet. Let's just say that. But once he got that confidence, it was a whole new ballgame.
But you know, I was sitting there thinking, man. I mean, you had all these great teammates. You went to the Super Bowl. I mean, those are accomplishments that a lot of people don't even get an opportunity.
Sure.
You know, and you took advantage of it, and I respect that. You know, but I think more than anything, what I respect about your career is, you played ball and you took care of your business. But you was kind of different from a lot of your teammates.
I was.
You know, I mean, not only with the dreads, because I've heard stories, man.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard stories.
I bet.
Yeah. And one of the stories
was it the Purple Rain party I used to go? No.
No. Hey, I want to hear from you, man. What's up with Spider-Man?
Oh, yes. That was okay. So that was, you're good. You need to keep doing this. So what made me different, in my opinion, what made me kind of a free spirit, and it's kind of where I got my ethical bit, like to try to do the right thing, because I was well read. I read books. I read comic books. I read books. I mean, all the time, and I emulated my mother. My mother would read. She didn't have a high school degree, but she would be reading. She was always sitting there reading, And I would get some when I was little. I'd get something. I couldn't read the words, but I'd act like I was her.
Gotcha.
Right?
Gotcha.
And then when I got into school, and this is why I give growing up in Iowa, so much a thumbs up, because books were pushed on me. And so when I read, my world expanded. And I'm like, my first one was Call of the Wild, and it was the buck and the dog and the relationship. And I really got into that, so I was looking for other books, and I kept reading, and then comic books was kind of a way to get a quick fix, right? Because it was always about the hero,
correct?
Right,
correct.
And so I would always do that, and so I took it. I was doing that here in Nebraska, but everybody's reading, right?
Yeah.
So nobody really paid attention to all the comic books I had, right? and I was a reader. I was reading Dune, all the novels while I was here playing ball in college, right? And so I get to the pros, I'm still doing it. And here's an interesting story. Okay, so I'm there, I'm reading, I'm trying to get myself up, because I know I gotta go up against some bad guys, right?
Right.
So I'm the hero, I got special powers, right? I gotta turn loose so special. I gotta put the mask on, Spidey mask. And so we're on a plane going to play out in Philly or somebody. And Warren Moon used to sit with, we sit together. And I had all these comic books laid out, right? And he just shake his head. I said, you want to read this? and so the guys would come by and they just look at it, just left me alone, and I'd read. And this reporter walked through, right?
Okay.
And he was going to the bathroom, and he looked down at me, but he didn't say nothing. I could see the look on his face. He looks down and he just keeps walking. The next day he says, comes to my locker, talks about the game. And he says, "Hey, by the way, was those comic books on the plane?" I said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." He said, "Tell me the story." And I tell him what I'm telling you. He says, "Well, if we lived in that world where there's superheroes, which one would you be?" I said, "Seriously?" I said, "I'd be Spider-Man." Because when he didn't have his mask on, he was a normal guy. He was Peter Parker trying to get a job, trying to get a girlfriend. I was like, that was me, right? But when he put that mask on, the spider sense are tingling.
Yeah.
It always warned me a danger. I had to have sticky hands, and tight ends need that, right?
Right.
And I had the proportional strength and speed of a spider. So I'm just telling this guy, like, we're talking. He wrote it. He wrote about it, right?
Wow.
So the next day, it says Williams aspires to be superhero. And so I go into practice. So all these guys, as soon as I get into the meeting, as soon as I walk in, they start singing that tune. Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins the web. And I was like, no way. And then they showed me the paper, right? And so that went national.
Wow.
So today I would have got a lot of NIL money on that one.
Yeah, you could have been rich way before you. Well, man, I mean, did you ever really dress up like Spider-Man?
I did for Halloween.
Okay.
So I had this motorcycle. So I'd dress up as Spider-Man and I'd ride around and I'd go to the clubs because disco was still big, right? And I don't think I got my butt pinched so many times, Nobody laid claim, but they did, right? And I would wear it. I wore it for an HBO special.
Okay.
They had me transfer. Now here's a good one. This is for the comic book lovers out there. It's its own
Hold
world.
that thought right there. Hold that thought. Hey, look, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back on the Get Happy On Hour with Jamie Williams.
Hi, my name is Molly Party. I'm a realtor with MP Dodge Real Estate. I'm a newly licensed agent and considered numerous brokerages before deciding on MP Dodge. I chose the company that gives me the most support in my new career, plus guidance and encouragement along the way. MP Dodge has a unique mentoring program for new agents. It's helped jumpstart my career and has a supportive management team and administrative staff. So if you're contemplating a career in real estate, look no further than MP Dodge. It will be the best decision you make.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is hiring and seeking motivated applicants. Gray offers a second-to-none benefit package that includes health, dental, vision, 401k, paid vacation, and paid holidays. They offer great pay and tuition reimbursement or a tool purchase program for qualified candidates. It's a fun, friendly team with lots of variety and work assignments, so there's something for everybody. View and apply for their job openings today at grayusa.com or visit them in person just off I-80 and North North 56th Street. Come be a part of the gray difference. The dog days of summer are here. Is your yard in need of a touch-up as we head into the fall season? August, September, and October are the months for aeration, and Penner Sprinkler and Lawn is the place to call to get the job done right. If you're noticing any issues with your sprinkler system through the hot summer months, they're always a call away, and they're already scheduling installs for sprinkler systems for next year and all other lawn care needs. Call Penner Sprinkler and Lawn today at 402-413-1215.
Aloe is turning 20 this year, and we plan to celebrate all year long. Since 2003, Aloe has vowed to put customers first and deliver a drastically different experience. No matter where you live, work, or play, we believe you deserve an affordable, secure, and reliable connection. We're proud to have served our businesses and residents with seriously fast fiber optic service for 2 decades. Thank you for trusting Aloe as your local internet, phone, and TV provider. Follow us on social media to know about the 20th anniversary celebrations in all our Aloe communities.
Fall is officially here, which means it's the perfect time to get outdoors and stay moving. If you're someone who enjoys going on walks in fall weather, but you notice heel pain in your foot when you wake up, it could be a sign of plantar fasciitis. A visit to Fleet Feet Lincoln can help you find the shoes and inserts you need to avoid that pain. Their Fit ID machine takes a 3D image of your feet and picks the shoes that work best for you. Visit Fleet Feet Lincoln, located off of 70th and Pioneers Boulevard, so you can stay moving.
Old School with DP and J.
So you got a bunch of young guys that have nothing to lose. So just go out there like nothing to lose. Nobody's expecting you to be like the greatest in the Big Ten. But then the only way that you're going to really jumpstart your development is really going out there and playing balls to the wall. Because if you go through and kind of like tiptoe and just moving around, well, when it comes down to when you really got to do it, you're going to let yourself down.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
And we're back. Hey, before we go on with the comic story, I got to give a big shout out to my big brother Otis Lee and Benjamin Hook. I appreciate you checking in as well. Yo, we got to get right back to that. What were you saying about the comic story, man? Comic book, Spider-Man.
First of all, Otis Lee, my man. What's up, man? Yes. Still can't believe you left me as a roommate, man, and moved in with your girlfriend. But anyway, that's another story for another day.
Okay.
So the Spider-Man deal. So I always did this, so it was natural for me, but it took off, right? And everybody, people start sending me comic books and I mean, like collectors.
Wow.
Right?
Okay.
Right? People started at the stadium with, they used to call it Jamie's Corner, with both the Niners and the Oilers, and people come with blow up dolls of Spider-Man, right? So it started to get around the league. So we go to play the New York Giants, and I'm in the locker room pregame. You get your game face on stuff, and I always wore a Spider-Man T-shirt underneath my pads,
Okay.
just to get me in that mood, right? And so these guys come in, they say, you got to get to the field, man. Come on, you need to come out the field. I say, dude, I don't go out this early. No, Jamie, you need to come out here. You need to go out. So I go out in Meadowlands, I go out in the stadium, and there's a guy out there in a full Spider-Man costume, and he's holding something. And they call me, and they got photographers. It was sent by Stan Lee, who created Spider-Man.
Wow.
Stan Lee is the legend, right?
Wow.
So until he died, he was always guest performances in the Marvel movies.
Okay.
Yeah. So I go out there. I got my dreads, I got my Spider-Man, I got my deal in, and my T-shirt, and they give me an autographed picture of Stan Lee calling me Spider-Man.
Wow.
And with the Spider-Man guy, right?
What?
And then what they did on top of that, they put me in the comic book.
Seriously?
Yes, with Peter Parker talking to Mary Jane, and he's sitting there watching me like doing an interview on TV. They drew it, right? They drew it. Me talking on the TV with the dreads. He says, "Mary Jane, I can't go out. I can't go out today. I got to hook up with my friend Jamie Williams." I was like,
Jamie made the comic books, man.
They went nuts, man.
Oh man. So, hey, you know what, Jamie? I laugh every time I hear stories about some of the stuff you did, because I still got memories too from, I don't want to go back too far, but I got to say this. You was the only guy, I think, on the team in college that rode a moped at one time.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, it was like, dude, why are you on a moped? I was like,
So my first car ever was when I got my first contract in the NFL. It was my first car. So I had a bike here to get around, and it got stolen. So I was like, God, they cut the chain and everything. So moped had a key, right?
Yeah.
And so it was one of the teammates' dad said, hey, why don't you get a moped? And he sold me a moped, and that thing I was all over Lincoln, man.
Yeah.
Right? I went on dates with a moped, which of course became a campus joke.
Yeah, but I'll say this, Jamie. You always had something going on.
I did.
But you know what, man? I just sitting there thinking, I would like to talk about you had a part in a movie production.
Mm-hmm.
Can you share with us exactly what the name of that is and how it all came about?
Well, that goes back to Lincoln, Nebraska. Matter of fact, it goes back to Central High School because I got pushed to, not pushed, but inspired to be, while I'm the All-American in basketball, All-American in football, I got pushed to be the captain of the poetry club at high school, Central High. And because of, putting words together, right?
Right.
And so then I came here and I got into journalism. And at the time, journalism, the program was great. The program's still great. I'll push anybody to get into the program and learn, right?
Gotcha.
How to express themselves. Well, it was radio, so we had to do this. It was television. You had to be able to produce a newscast. They taught you that. Run the camera, run the switchboard, and you had to be able to shoot film. So we were running around campus shooting on Super 16, and we had to edit ourselves not digitally,
Yeah.
And so I learned it, right?
Okay.
And then when I got to the Niners, I got my master's, in journalism and film, right?
Okay.
And so then I retired and got into the doctorate program because I knew I wanted to do that. And I was really I still had gas in the tank. I could have played 3 or 4 more years because I retired healthy. And
gotcha.
And this guy called me and said, hey, Oliver Stone wants to do a sports film. We heard you write screenplays. Are you interested? And I hung up on it.
You thought he was joking or something?
Yeah, teammates, mess with you. I thought that. And he calls back and says, no, call this number back. I'm in LA. This is who I am. And so the guy said, hey, Oliver wants to make a football movie. He's looking at scripts and he doesn't like anything. He said, do you have anything? I said, well, I'm really into sci-fi and medieval. Why didn't he do that, man? I could write some good stuff there. He said, no, you understand. Oliver can get a movie done. And he wants to do sports. He said, can you send me anything? And I says, okay, give me an hour. I'll send you a treatment. And the treatment is like a short story, right?
Okay.
So what the story about? Aging quarterback gets replaced by hip urban quarterback, needs to learn how to do leadership. He's going up against the old school coach who is old school. Both need to change their way for the team to move forward in leadership. Their leadership.
Wow.
So if you look at Willie Beeman, that was his deal. He had to become a leader. And Al Pacino had to change with that coach had to change with the times. So I send that to him. They call me back in an hour. Oliver says, he got a ticket for you. Can you come to LA? I said, is that a trick question? So I go down there, and the next day I'm pitching the idea to Oliver Stone.
And exactly what were you pitching?
Well, the treatment, like basically, he said, I love your treatment. Give me more. I need more. And so in film school, unless you're going to UCLA or USC, they don't really teach you how to pitch.
Okay.
All right, because you're supposed to do it as an artist, right?
Right.
And so I pitched it because I know football, and I studied Fellini, and I studied Bergman and Eisenstein, and so I start, and these guys in the room like, oh, this is why you do the movie. This is the first act, the second act. This is the play. Here's the dramatic tension. Here's the audience. And I start going through all that. This is how it fits the 3-act structure. And I says, but it is the NFL, and there's a dark underbelly. And if you can't go there, don't do that movie. You'll get laughed off the stage.
Right.
And he says, I said, it's pretty much how you did Platoon, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not John Wayne running down, not getting hit by any bullets. It was real dark. That's the NFL. It's
absolutely.
It's carnage, right? Survival of the fittest. So he said, I love it. And he hired me to write the initial screenplay. And then I end up being an actor in it. and that was not what my goal was,
Yeah.
but I knew how we talk in the huddle,
Right.
right? And then I was a technical director. Like, yeah.
Could you tell us what the name of the film ended up being?
Any Given Sunday.
Any Given Sunday.
So I'm rocking.
Wow.
So it was all the producer, creative people, for a couple years, and then the day we shot, it's Jim Brown, it's Cameron Diaz, it's Al Pacino, it's James Woods, it's Matthew Modine, it's Bill Bellamy. Who else? I mean, there's a whole host of other actors in it, and it was an amazing experience.
Was Jamie Foxx in that? But he was
Jamie Foxx. Yes,
that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay.
and he played quarterback in high school, so it worked out.
Good, man. That right there. That film won some awards or something.
Yeah, it did. It was very good because it showed us that football isn't Disney.
Yes, it gave the insight.
Yeah, for the grown men, right?
Right.
That play
right.
that game, and we're the modern day gladiators, right?
Yeah.
And it's not not kind. It's kind of unforgiving.
Well, I think it was very the timing of it was perfect because at that time they were painting this picture that it was all glamour and everything. But
now here's the other thing, Ricky. My master thesis was on the black quarterback.
Oh.
And then I played with Warren Moon and I played with Turner Gill and Nate.
Right.
So I know what they thought about. I know their struggle. I know their, where their angst was. Right.
Gotcha.
And so you saw that in the Beeman character. And so I'm proud today to see that the game has evolved where anybody who can play, I don't care what your color is, where you come from, as to whether you can move the ball and whether you can lead.
Wow, man. The game has come a long ways from back in when we were in college.
Come on now.
Yeah. And
before that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, it was always the quarterbacks out in high school always had to switch to DB.
Yes.
Or
yes.
receiver or something.
Yes.
Everything except quarterback.
Yes.
So to see them guys currently being in position to play.
I have another screenplay that's like Paramount's looking at right now because I still write.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay. What's this about?
It's about a quarterback.
Okay. Okay.
And, but he has blonde hair, blue eyes.
Ah.
And Warren Moon and Tony Dungy and Herm Edwards are like, they played during that time and they said, this dude was the real deal. So this was a guy who was before Montana, before Young, before Elway, before Brady. And he was that in the 70s. And this is when the 70s was still the 60s. And a lot of these young people don't know that. 70s didn't happen, as we know, until like mid-70s when disco happened.
Yeah, true.
Okay? That's when it became the 70s.
Yeah.
So, and this is a quarterback that did well during that time against all odds. And he was going to be the first pick in the NFL draft. And he died of cancer like 2 months before the draft.
Wow.
But he played in the Hula Bowl, played the last game. He was the cancer had taken over his body. I mean, he was like a drowned rat, but he balled out in that game. That was his final game.
Wow.
His name was Joe Roth.
Joe Roth. So you've already written this, or you're
Oh yeah.
Okay, so there's potential another movie coming, is what you're saying.
Well, yes, it's there. I own the rights. I've written it. It's kind of timing in film, and it's got to be kind of a market for it, and somebody wants to do it.
Right.
So I have that, and I have a number of screenplays because that's kind of my out.
Gotcha.
I love story.
Gotcha. So
and you know about us. It's about the stories we can tell.
Yes.
Correct.
And a lot of them we cannot tell on the air. But
well, you're right about that one.
But you know what, man? I just think that's special, and I'm just sitting here listening to you. You went on, and I remember something else about you that I wanted to ask you about too. You went on to San Francisco, and you went to a university that didn't even have athletics.
Yes.
And
yes,
can you share with everybody what you did or what you accomplished at that school?
I tell people, and I tell the young people this, is to get as much experience as you can. Now, obviously, books are a way to take you beyond the 7 blocks you grew up on. It can take you anywhere.
Correct.
It can take you into the future, into the past. And then you have to get out there and you have to do things. And that's how you understand how the dots connect. Spent my life in a locker room. So I understand the locker room, and I understand the player, and I understand the history of the game and where it's going. And but it's all tied to other athletics. Just
Right.
football is the gladiator, but they're all synonymous, right? In
Right,
terms of
right.
competition. So I was looking to do my directorial debut of another story I wrote called Between Fire and Ice. It was a love story in athletics. And our funding fell through. And I get a call from the president of the Academy of Art University in San Francisco, which is a lot like NYU. It's all over the city of San Francisco, and it's the largest art school in the United States, and it's the only one that's a university. And she calls me. She said, her assistant calls, says she wants to do dinner with you. I kept putting them off, and because I was just like, she wants some autographs, she wants some Niner tickets. I don't know, right?
Yeah, right.
And so I finally do it. Like the AD at San Jose State said, "Hey, Jamie, please go to dinner with her." I said, "Okay, fine." So we go up to North Beach and we're having dinner, and she looks at me. She says, her name is Lisa Stevens, Dr. Stevens.
Big shout out to Dr. Stevens.
That's right. And she goes, I want to do athletics. And I go, okay. Now I had been.
This is an art school?
Yes, art school, right? So, over 15,000 students. So the deal is, I had been consulting with high-tech companies. I was around a lot of startups and consulting. And so I understood. And it was a time when Silicon Valley was really, it was the place. It was the center of the universe.
Right.
And so startups were popping up like daisies, right? So this is a startup within an institution. So she's talking to you. I got that startup mindset when she's talking to me. And I go, you want to do athletics? I said, okay. Do you want to do club? Do you want to do intramural? What do you? She said, no, like Stanford or Cal.
Wow.
I said, well, okay. So I said, well, there's a big startup cost to start a program like that. She said, oh, we got that. I said, well, there's recurring costs, right? Because until you get a fan base. She says, I understand.
Wow.
And I says, well, okay, this is the type of, I'm a storyteller.
Yeah.
This is the type of person you need to get. You need to get a person who's not afraid, because nobody wants you in, and very few people are going to help you. They're not looking for artists to be athletes, because it's not everybody gets a trophy. It's competitive. So you got to find somebody that knows that, willing to push that boulder up the hill, start it out by themselves, and then bring others in and get them to the tipping point. And if you do that, they said, because I know a lot of athletes, and a lot of them are closet artists. So they're out there. And you got to know somebody that knows that and go recruit those kids. And I tell you what, in those competitions, how do you win? I played for Tom Osborne.
Correct.
Fox at Central High School. I know how to freaking win. I can get out of bed, know how to win. I knew that. But I wasn't saying that. I was just giving her advice.
Right.
And she looks at me, she orders me another Tangerine tonic and says, when can you start? I was like, oh my
You're
God.
hired.
I'm like, oh my God. I said, well, let me talk to a couple of my mentors and I'll get back to you. But if I do this, you can't blink. And
Wow.
she looks at me, she leans into me, she says, I'm not blinking.
Wow. Hold that thought. Hey, look, we're going to take one more break. We'll be back with Dr. Jamie Williams.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Chances are you're a busy person. Chances are you'd rather not drive down to Beatrice for your favorite desserts. Chances are you'd really benefit from a Lincoln location for all of your fruitcake, liqueur cake, and breakfast bread needs. Insert Beatrice Bakery in downtown Lincoln. 1040 O Street, the new 93.7 The Ticket Studios. Just grab a cake out of the cooler, pay at the counter, and you're headed home with the delicious, fruity, nutty, decadent treat of your choice. Beatrice Bakery, online at beatricebakery.com or now in downtown Lincoln at 1040 O Street. Houses? They're expensive. And once you buy one, you're kind of stuck with it for a while. You need to make sure you get your best house for the best price. You need Ben Bleicher and his team of pros at Professional Realty Group. They'll take the time to figure out what's important for you in your dream home, and they have the expertise to find the hidden issues that could surprise you after the sale. That's professional knowledge, proactive service. We call that potential. Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Service Ambassador. Find more online at prg-ne.com.
Tired of the ugly signs, extra expense, and costly damage from hard water? It's time to call the plumbers at Bryant for a water softener solution. Hi, folks. Greg Shop here, the voice of the Huskers at Bryant. You get high-quality water softener products installed by plumbers you can trust, and no arm-twisting contracts that tie you down. Just one call, 467-1111, or visit BryantLincoln.com to schedule a free softener installation estimate. Come on, soften up with Bryant. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
All right, Rico, let's do the final checklist before we head out. We have a lot of people coming to the tailgate today. I'm ready. Burgers? Check. Chips? Check. Icy cold beer? Check. Except this one. I'm forgetting something. Wait a second. Where's the Führer's cheese spread? I can't stop eating it. Rico, relax. I always pack extra. It's the biggest hit of the tailgate.
For the best appetizer, party dip, and tailgate snack, load up on Führer's cheese spread today. Found in most local grocery stores.
Finally, a good reason to have a smart house. Just say, Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket, and we'll magically start playing. How's it work? Nobody knows. Don't ask questions.
This is Bud Seinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Back to the Get Your Happy On Hour, featuring former Husker receiver Ricky Simmons.
Hey, we back. Man, she got you another drink, man, and then she said, when can you start?
Yeah. So I had a brief conversation with my mentors. It's like, absolutely, you're in that environment, you got support. So, and I started going on a plan. I had a vision for it. It was a me, a computer and a desk, no nickname or anything. So I had to do the things I had to do to create internally momentum, right?
Okay.
Get people to understand what I was doing. And then I start hiring young people who weren't afraid.
Gotcha.
And we start building it. And then within 4 years, we had to find a conference. We do that and as a leader, you got to be able to predict the future. So I predicted the future for them, right? And we achieved it. And we basically, within 4 years, won about, 10 conference championships and 2 national championships.
Wow.
And
what all sports did you have?
We had everything except aquatics and football.
Wow.
So we have all the main, soccer, tennis, golf, basketball. Basketball was our big one. Okay. Volleyball. Okay. And we were good for a Division II program. And we had the best logo.
And you created this from
zero.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got to ask you one last question before we get ready to wrap up. But I just wanted to ask you, man, what message do you have for the current athletes today?
My current athlete, well, look, especially here in Lincoln, is to become unicorns, become Renaissance people. Do more than what you're doing, because it will help you on the field, will make you a critical thinker. And the way you do this, there's a program on campus that some people know about, but not of them. It's called the Reichs program. And I would challenge a number of them to try to get into that. It's a mixture of computer scientists, engineers, and business.
Okay.
That's the future.
Gotcha.
And that's the future in our sport, right?
Correct.
And so the kids can come in there, and it'll take them away, and it'll make them better players and make them more rounded, and it'll make them ready for the world.
And that's for people even after football is over or athletics is over.
That's right.
They'll have something to go on.
They will have the whole world will open up to them.
Gotcha. Well, again, man, I can't thank you enough, man, for coming in. This has been awesome, man.
You give Ricky Simmons the ball, he'll make you miss in a phone booth. Know that.
Hey, but that's only because I'm allergic to contact, you know?
Gotcha.
I don't like getting touched, man. I mean, I was not blessed to be the size of Jamie Williams, you know, who run around looking for contact. I was just the opposite. I was trying to avoid contact.
I just ate more cornbread.
Yeah, well, man, I mean, but I seen you. You go out there, you're almost like a crash dummy. You're looking for contact.
Oh, no question. And that's what the tight end should do.
Exactly. And, you know, and I was just the opposite. I was trying to make you miss every chance I get. I figured the less contact, the better off I was.
And you always had, you know, some dates lined up, so you had to stay, you had to stay pretty, you know.
It had to be.
You had no problem with that.
Well, hey, listen, everybody. I want y'all to understand something. You know, I got to shout out Cat O'Meals again. Thank you for honoring my mother, man. I mean, that's one of the most important things to me. I can't thank you enough for that. And Brad Taylor, man, keep doing your thing. You and Shauna, man, I'm proud of you down there in Forney, Texas, man. And the next time I come that way, we're going to get together and go get our eat on. But, you know, I also want people to understand something. You can be more than an athlete. You can be a very productive member of society, and there are so many other ways you can do it. So just keep that in mind. Do not put all your eggs in one basket, as my mother used to say. You know, she would always say, be like the rabbit. When one door closed, run out the other one. You know, have more options than that. Just one thing. So, again, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back next Sunday night. I actually got Rodney Lewis as my guest next Sunday night.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that'll be really interesting.
Give a shout out for me and all for our late friend, Russell Gary.
Russell Gary, absolutely. And a big shout out to Nate Mason. Every day you blessed to see, it truly is another day in paradise. And no matter what, you got to get your happy on.
Thank you.
Don't! Thank y'all for tuning in.
Winning comes without a guarantee. Focus, discipline, and extraordinary effort make winning more likely. Sometimes our greatest wins come from major setbacks. Coming back from a serious injury is a win that requires teamwork. At Berry Law, we're in it to win it.
If you have been seriously injured, call Berry Law.
October is full of sports, with football and volleyball reaching mid-season and basketball and winter sports starting up. All the excitement of the games brings major stress, and stress causes tight muscles and pain. It's time to call the Body Shop, your place in Lincoln for all types of massages: deep tissue, hydrating, sports, Swedish, hot stone, aroma, and more. And don't forget about their couples massages. Eliminate the pain from sports watching stress today with a massage at the Body Shop at 48th and A and online at thebodyshoplincoln.com.
USTOP is a proud member of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association, promoting local businesses through education, networking, and local government advocacy. This is why USTOP